Hi, I'm Dr. Bill Gradishar. I'm a professor of medicine at Northwestern University, and I'm pleased to be participating in this YouTube session on diet and breast cancer. And I will say that probably the most common question that I get, as well as other oncologists, is what can I do on my end as a patient to decrease my risk of the breast cancer being active or coming back? How can I manipulate my personal life in an effort to decrease risk? And one of the most common ways people focus on that is with their diet. And among the different things that people consider, and we'll sort of go through these individually, is, should I cut dairy? Should I cut soy? Should I go keto? Should I only eat plant-based stuff? Should I cut out all meat? Should I add supplements? Should I get a grocery cart full of stuff at Costco that's at opening of the store and buy 20 pounds of turmeric? All of this stuff comes up again and again and again. And, the basic thing that people walk away with is I'm putting all this stuff into my body normally, and it's probably causing a problem with the cancer becoming active. So we want to sort of go through and dispel some of those myths, because ultimately, one of the things we want patients to do is actually live a normal life, enjoy food, and not be afraid of food, because I think that, that is one of the things that people look forward to every day, is eating something nutritious, but it's one of the pleasurable activities that we do. So we'll go through some of the things that people bring up and hopefully put it in perspective. So mistake number one is trying to starve the cancer. This is a notion that if you keep nutrients away from the cancer, that you will somehow impact on the course of the disease. Well, number one, that is not true. So obviously, if you were a petri dish and you got rid of certain nutrients that go into a petri dish, cells would die. But keep in mind that the human body is not a petri dish. It has other systems that require nutrition that are critically important: your brain, your heart, your muscles, etc. So you can't starve a cancer. That's number one. And the other thing that you have to keep in mind is when patients undergo therapy, be it chemotherapy, radiation, even surgery, you need the nutrients in a normal diet to maintain your overall health, as well as to recover from whatever insult happened as a result of the surgery, as a result of chemotherapy, as an example, or even radiation therapy. In order for the body to heal, you need a normal diet. And you're not doing yourself any favor or adding to the effects of the therapy by starving yourself in an effort to starve the cancer. Another mistake is not having a balanced diet. What I tell patients all the time is, number one, enjoy your food. Number two is try and eat healthy. These sound like they're vague, but the point is that you don't want to have a very specific diet, a cancer diet. There is no such thing. Even though at the checkout counter at a store or in a rabbit hole on the internet, there may be a suggestion that a specific diet is going to either treat the cancer or decrease your risk of cancer. That's not based on any evidence. So you should dismiss that right offhand. The most important thing is, for your overall health as a human being, you want to have a balanced diet. So you want to, think of what protects your heart, what minimizes your risk of getting diabetes, what helps you maintain a normal weight, or as normal as you can get to it. But again, not starving yourself, not focusing on, I'm only going to eat vegetables. If you're a vegan, fine. But you have to still get protein in some respects. So the point is, you want to have a balanced diet. You may decide that you want to eat as healthy as you can. So decreasing the amount of red meat, eating lean meat, more chicken, more fish, more green vegetables. Common thing that people say is you want to look at your plate and see different colors. And I think that's true. You want to see different color vegetables. You want to see green. You don't want to just see a hunk of meat and that's all you eat. But I think the important thing is balance, because again, that is really a prescription for your overall health. And there is no specific cancer diet or anti-cancer diet that you should pursue or subscribe to. People often ask about, should I avoid soy? Can I never eat in a Japanese restaurant again? And the answer is no. Number one, there's a reality. Soy is in a huge number of products. And unless you have a diet that is 100% soy, you're probably fine if you occasionally eat soy. You probably don't even know you're eating it sometimes. It is not going to affect the recurrence rate of your breast cancer or you developing breast cancer. Again, balance. So you don't have to avoid soy. You can occasionally eat it. It's fine. Don't get so rigid that you feel like you can't go anywhere, do anything, or only eat specific things.
Diagnosed with breast cancer? Meet Yerba, your guide to personalized treatment options. Each option is specifically tailored to the unique characteristics of your tumor. Sign up today at yerba.com to take control of your breast cancer journey.
So mistake number 3 is avoiding protein. And again, I would emphasize, as I have earlier, that protein is a critical element to maintaining your overall health. So it's not going to necessarily have an adverse effect on the cancer or the cancer recurrence, but it can definitely have a detrimental effect on recovery from cancer treatment or your general health, period. If somebody deprived themselves of protein who didn't even have a diagnosis of cancer, they would end up losing muscle mass, which has all kinds of consequences. Your strength decreases, your bone density may decline, your ability to ambulate, get up off the floor if you're an older person. All of these things are compromised by not having adequate protein in your diet and getting muscle atrophy. You become weaker. Your exercise tolerance diminishes. You're not going to have the same strength capacity that you did before. Again, we would tell patients that you can modify the way that you take protein in. We say if you're going to eat beef, try to do so with lean cuts of meat and try to minimize it, but you can eat fish, you can eat chicken, eggs, yogurt, cottage cheese. There are a variety of things, beans, that can provide the necessary protein to maintain your health. So again, I think going too far in any one direction is a mistake, and moderation is probably the key, and having a normal diet that you enjoy with all the necessary elements to maintain your overall health is the critical, important point to take home. Mistake number 4 is over-relying on supplements. So number one, if you eat a normal diet, you're getting all the vitamins you need. And if you start eating excess vitamins, you pee them out. That's a reality. You're also peeing out a lot of money to buy all this stuff. So again, if you're eating a normal diet, which I sort of addressed in mistakes 1 through 3, you're getting probably all that you need in order to maintain your overall health. Now, there may be some suggestion that certain supplements are good for some side effect or other, and I think it's reasonable to explore. But at the same time, I wouldn't overemphasize the utility or benefit that these different things confer to you or provide to you. One of the other common questions is the use of antioxidants, which we're not opposed to as medical providers, but at the same time, we know that antioxidants have the potential to interact with chemotherapy as well as radiation therapy and perhaps other treatments that we use. And as a result, we really, number one, want to make sure we understand anything that a patient is taking on the side so that we make sure there aren't any interactions. And we're not opposed to antioxidants. However, we don't want to have them ingested in high doses or mega doses, because then we could potentially contribute to a decrease in the effectiveness of therapy. So again, make sure your provider, your physician knows all the supplements that you're taking, including antioxidants. So mistake number 5, and again, a very common question and a statement from patients is, I've cut out sugar. I don't want to eat sugar because it's feeding the cancer. And that's probably a fallacy that's been developed by who knows what. You can see it at checkout counters. You can see it on the internet. Again, we don't tell patients they have to avoid eating dessert, enjoying a meal, putting sugar in their coffee. It is not, I repeat, not going to feed your cancer. Ingesting sugar is not going to make the cancer grow or activate the cancer in some way. Again, the basic message that I've tried to convey throughout all of this is anything in moderation is okay. So again, sugar is acceptable. We want people to watch their diets, try to achieve as good a weight as possible, but not at the expense of enjoying their food or taking things to an extreme where they delete all obvious sugar from their diet. You can eat a cookie, you can have a piece of cake, you can have a scoop of ice cream. That's not going to change the outcome of your disease. So to bring it all full circle, what I tried to convey over the course of this discussion is that diet is important, but it's important for your overall health. Taking anything to an extreme where you're avoiding things completely, or at the other extreme, supplementing with vitamins or megadoses of antioxidants, etc., is not going to be doing yourself any favors. We want your life, even though this is a challenging journey, to be enjoyable. And one of the things that most people enjoy in life is eating. And we want you to eat healthy. We don't want you to deprive yourself of having a cookie or a piece of cake or a scoop of ice cream. That is not going to change your disease. It's not going to make things worse. We want you to, live a full life and enjoy the food that you eat because it's important for your overall health, the maintenance of your well-being, your muscles, and your ability to do day-to-day activities. So I wouldn't fixate on diet or avoiding certain things or supplementing in huge ways. I think that your healthcare provider would also amplify these same points when you meet with them. So I hope this was useful to you. We look forward to the next discussion on the Yerba YouTube channel. And if you'd like more information on your specific situation, go to yerba.com and you can get answers to many of your questions. You can get the answers to all your questions specifically about your situation. Each patient is different. Tumor biology is different across different kinds of breast cancer. The therapies as well are different depending on a specific clinical situation. So to get a better understanding of that, go to yerba.com, where you have an opportunity to explore some of the different treatments, the expected benefits and side effects of those treatments, and to get your questions answered.